The Vanishing File. Episode 4. The Final Clue.
The footsteps outside the office door stopped. Emma held her breath. Whoever it was, they were standing right outside. She had the report right there in her hands, but the warning on the sticky note echoed in her mind.
Not safe?
She needed to get out. She put the envelope back onto the desk and moved towards the door. The footsteps moved away. She gently opened the door, looking out into the hallway. No one. She looked at the envelope again. She had to have it. She picked it up, slipped it under her jacket, and stepped into the corridor, walking quickly back to her desk. She didn't stop to breathe until she was safely sitting down. She had to figure out what was going on. Emma pulled out the report from her jacket carefully. She scanned the numbers. Everything looked too perfect. She frowned. This isn't right. She had been working on this report for weeks. She remembered highlighting inconsistencies, making notes, and flagging errors. But now, no errors, no flags, no notes. She tensed up. The version she was holding had been changed. Someone had removed everything suspicious. They didn't just steal the file, they erased the truth. Emma reached into her drawer and pulled out her old notebook. She flipped through pages, searching for anything that stood out. Then she found it, a transaction she had circled twice. A large payment with no matching deposit. She remembered noting it down on the original report that she left in the file that had gone missing. But now, that transaction was gone from this new file. Someone had cleaned it up. She felt a cold chill. The person who erased this wasn't just hiding a mistake. They were covering something up. And there was only one person she knew who had access to these records late at night. Jake. She tensed up even more. She gripped her pen tightly. She needed answers. Now, she put the report in her desk drawer, took a deep breath, stood up and walked towards the break room. There he was. Jake, pouring himself a coffee. She looked at him directly.
You were in the office late last night.
So what?
You weren't just working late, were you?
You sound paranoid.
I found the file.
Jake froze. Emma folded her arms.
Something doesn't add up, Jake.
What do you mean?
The payments in my report. The numbers match perfectly, but I couldn't find the deposits.
Jake's fingers tightened around his coffee cup. His eyes widened.
Really? Are you sure? Maybe you made a mistake.
I don't think I did.
Jake looked around the break room before looking at her defiantly in the eyes.
You need to let this go, Emma.
Before Emma could reply, a voice came from behind her.
Emma, my office, now.
She turned. Mr. Bennett. He wasn't smiling. She quickly walked into the office and stood in front of his desk. He shut the door behind her.
You've been busy today.
Emma didn't speak.
I don't know what you think you found, but I suggest you leave it alone.
Are you threatening me?
I'm giving you a professional warning. You're a smart employee, Emma. I'd hate to see you waste your potential on office gossip.
So that's it? You're just going to cover this up?
Mr. Bennett sighed.
You don't understand how these things work.
Emma stood.
I understand perfectly.
She turned and left. Back at her desk, Emma exhaled slowly. She was furious. She didn't want to work with people who were so unscrupulous and unethical. She pulled out the report from her drawer. She had been so focused on the missing file that she almost forgot. Someone had tried to warn her. The first clue she ever received. She reached into her drawer and pulled out the old sticky note.
Time is ticking.
Emma's pulse quickened. Someone in this office knew exactly what was going on, and they wanted her to figure it out. She stared at the report in front of her. The last approval signature wasn't from Mr. Bennett, it was from someone else. She knew that name. Her breath caught in her throat. This wasn't over. Not even close.